Alright folks, today is going to be kind of a crummy project, but it needs to be done. I'm waiting to go get the fuel tank so I can fix that debacle there. But first things first, we're going to pull these front wheels off, this front drive axle, and I'm going to go get brake drums and wheel seals for it. So I'm going to get it jacked up, get these wheels off, and I need to pull the axle out because I need to see what size socket I need to get the hub off, because I don't have one currently. I'll either go buy one or see if I can borrow one. So I'm going to get to work on that. Alright guys, we got the wheels off. So to get these drums off of this truck, these are inboard mount drums, which means the drum is mounted to the back side of the hub. So in order to get the drum off, you have to take the hub off. You gotta take there's two big ass nuts in here. This one, there's a lock ring and then a nut behind it. To get the axle, you gotta pull the axle. So to get the axle out, you take all these, where is it? They have these little cones that center the axle that go, you put the axle on, put that cone in a tapered hole, and then the nut goes on and it centers everything. So looks like somebody's already done what I'm about to do, because I don't have a socket currently. That little nick in there, right there, somebody's hit that with a chisel to knock it loose. This outside nut just locks it, so it shouldn't be super tight. So I'm gonna get a chisel, knock this nut off, and then take it apart. Alright, I'm gonna try and show you guys. I got this nut off. I just whacked it with a chisel and it came right off. Unscrewed it with my fingers. So next is this thing. It's got that tab right there, and then the holes go over this pin here, and that's what locks the nuts together. I know. Oh, that's right, not that tight. This nut here's what sets the preload on your bearings, your wheel bearings, so I'll have to adjust that. But unscrew this thing out of here, and the wheel bearing will come out, and then we can slide the whole hub and drum off. So there's the other nut with the tab thing on it. Now that's loose. I'll have to get something to pull that bearing out. But anyway, this bearing slides out, and then the whole drum and everything. So what I did this morning was I aired the truck up and I put the cage bolts in. That right there, mind my finger, that bolt. That's what holds the brakes off. I did both sides, that way I don't have to fight with the brakes. And I didn't have to back the slack adjusters way off, so I'll just be able to just readjust them when I put the new drums on. So this is what I was talking about. These nuts right here, that's the back side of the wheel studs. And that's what holds the drum to the back of the hub. So I need to get those nuts off, and then the drum will come off, and then I can go get a new drum. If you're not sure why I'm replacing these drums, this right here, that shouldn't be there. It's not a vent. They're all around. So yeah, the drums on the back look like they've been replaced. So I'm gonna leave them alone. But these definitely need to be done. So the shoes and everything look good. I'm gonna clean that stuff up. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this wheel seal yet. I'm gonna see. I'll probably get them, but I think I might just leave these on here because that seal isn't terrible. So I don't know. I'm gonna see if these nuts will come off, and then and we'll start on the next adventure. Alright, here's where I'm at. We've got 2 new brake drums, big old brake drum, hub, 2 new wheel seals, this to fix this because they didn't have these, an antifreeze jug full of 80-90. It was a clean antifreeze jug, so don't kill me. Let me see, a tube of sealant and some lug nuts and a socket. I had to buy this gigantic socket, and I built a new shop. So it's sunny out here. It's not hot, but the sun is just terrible. So yeah, I'm gonna get this stuff cleaned up. I need to take this piece is the wear ring for the old seal. I need to get that off of there because the new seal doesn't use that. So I'm gonna get to beating this seal out, and he says, well, it says it right here on the box, no tool required. So we'll get them out and I'll go over them when I get ready to put them in. I gotta fix this wheel stud. It goes in this way, and I went and borrowed this so I can get the other side apart, and I borrowed a bag of rags. So anyway, I'm gonna get to cleaning this stuff out. We'll get this seal out, and I'll bring you back when I'm ready to put it back together. Alright, so here's what we got. Got the seal out without mangling it too bad. Of course, it doesn't really matter. So I just drove my little pry bar down in there, and that hole, drove it through there, and it came out. So I wiped all this out. It had blue silicone in it. Somebody put that on the old seal. Wipe this bearing off, which doesn't look terrible. So I got a little bucket. I'm gonna dump some oil over this, put the bearing back in, and then he told me that you can just drive this in. It says on the box, no tool required. The top plate is the tool. So let's get this thing out of here. Cannot do this with one hand. Okay, here's the new seal. And for you guys that are doing the same dumb stuff that I'm doing, that's the part number from Fleet Pride, where I buy all my stuff. You have to put this goop on the outside of the seal. He said to do that, and he said put it in there, drive it home with a block of wood. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have to get clean this mess up. Take this ring off of here, so do that with a cutoff wheel very carefully, I guess. So, yep, that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so we got this cleaned up. I got the wear ring off. So what I did was I just took a cutoff wheel and I just barely nicked it right here. It should be okay. I took that wear ring off there because that doesn't go with the new seal. So what happens is this orange part, when you put the hub on, it gets pressed onto that shoulder, and the orange part stays with the axle and the black part turns with the hub. So your wear ring and everything is inside this bearing, or inside this seal. This is the old one. So this is the seal that was in the hub. This is the wear ring that was on the pressed onto the axle, and the seal rides in this spot. You can see where I cut it. So that goes like that. That's old, outdated nonsense. I thought it looked okay. The guy at Fleet Pride talked me out of leaving them. He said they're gonna leak, and he's probably right. So what I'm gonna do is take this bearing and this bucket, and I'm gonna put some oil over that bearing, and make sure I don't forget to put this back in the hub, and then put the bearing in, seal in, put the drum back on. I fixed this stud because for whatever reason the nut decided to go all the threads up. So I fixed the nut with a tap, fixed that with a die, so we can put that back together. He didn't have this stud, or I'd have just bought a new one. So that's what we're gonna do, putting this together. And he said to drive this in with a block of wood, so I found the dirtiest piece of wood that I could find. It's even got a nail in it. Drive that home, and then put it on that. I guess I'll get the air hose and I'll blow all that dust out of there. Yeah. And I guess I'll grease the S-cam while it's off. Anyway, I'm gonna do this. Seal's in. So yeah, I just laid this piece of wood on top of it, bashed it in there with a hammer, and there it is. So the orange piece turns like it should, and I think it's good. So this will move a little bit, so if it looks like it's loose, it's not. It's the orange piece is loose inside the thing. It's just how it works. I don't know. There's magic or unicorns or something in there. I don't know what's doing it. So this, when I put this on, I'll have to draw it in with the nut, and this orange piece will then press onto the axle where the wear ring was, and then it'll seal. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I gotta put the drum on this, put that stud in. I'm repeating myself. So yeah, I'll bring you back when we're ready to put it back, put the hub and the drum back on. Alright, so for those of you that don't know, because I didn't know until I started messing with this thing, so these are called inboard mount drums, and they suck. So if you're fixing up an old truck and it has these, and you can just switch it to slide-on drums, the outboard mount drums, because it's just makes way better sense. So what happens is this drum is held onto the back of the hub with these nuts. So in order to change the brake drum, you have to take everything apart, and it's terrible, and they're heavy. On a late model truck, the hub stays on that axle and the drum slides over it, just like your pickup or your car or whatever. You can switch these. It's kind of pricey because you have to buy the hubs, you gotta buy drums, and then you have to buy wheels. So, I mean, I don't know. If I was running this truck every day for a job, it'd be a no-brainer. You switch it because these aren't easily serviceable. So, whatever. I'm never going to wear this stuff out, so I'm not going to worry about it. The rear drums are in pretty good shape. So yeah, these are just going to stay. So, I've got this gigantic impact. You don't need a 1-inch impact to do this, I don't think. I took these off with a 3/4, but I borrowed that. Whatever. Yeah, so I'm gonna tighten these nuts up, and then we're gonna put this back together. Alright, you ready to watch me get a hernia? This thing is not light at all. Alright, the brake shoes aren't backed off far enough. I'm going to have to, now that I look at it, that wasn't smart. Anyway, I got to back the slack adjusters off. The shoes are out too far. Okay, I backed the shoes off. I'll show you what I did. So before, this is your S-cam. It turns this way and it applies the brakes. It spreads the shoes out. And I had it turned. It did release on the old drums, but they're wore out. So turn it this way, the shoes come closer together. So hopefully this attempt, I can get this thing on here. Because I don't know if I'll be able to do it a third time. So we'll see. You can look at my back for a while. Okay, so there's that. Now, this isn't back on there all the way. because I need to seat that seal. So I'm going to put the bearing in, put the nut on, adjust the preload on that, and then this ring goes on, then this goes on. So I'm going to clean this bearing up and put that stuff together. Alright, so I guess you guys can see what I'm doing. This bearing, it's got oil on it. I'm just gonna drop that on the ground. The seal might have went on there, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's back all the way to me, but you gotta drop it. Run it on there a little bit with the socket. But you have to put the nut on first. The other side will go way faster than this side, mainly because I have everything that I need now. I had to run all over the country to get what I needed this morning. So had to buy this socket. This is going to be tight because of the seal. Just the way that seal is. Dragonfly will not leave me alone. This nut doesn't have to be super tight. I'm sure there's a torque spec for it. No, I don't know what it is. Oil everywhere, so that's good. It's about where it was, actually. So now, if you watched earlier, I actually unscrewed this nut with my fingers when I took it apart. So. There's gear oil everywhere. That was a horrible idea. The trick is there's a pin on this nut. You gotta line it up with one of these holes. Like that. And this nut does get tight, so you can lock that ring. Make it like tight, generally kill it. That way. Now, lock everything together. Okay. Now, you clean up the axle, flange, and bolt that back in here. I could not get a gasket for it because they didn't have any, because this thing is an antique. So that's that. I've got gear oil everywhere. It's on my tripod. So that is how you do inboard mount drums on this thing. So I gotta get the axle cleaned up. The axle shaft just slides in, put these nuts on, that's it. There's nothing to that. Then I gotta adjust the brakes. I gotta adjust them. I think I'm going, no, I can't, because I can't move it. I'm gonna try and do the other side. I think it might be a little too close to the garage. I might not be able to get the axle shaft out. So I don't know. I can't move it because of that. So we'll see. But that's how you do that. So now we got new brake drums. The shoes are okay, so I'm not just gonna leave them. So I need to put shoes on the back, but not right now. They'll be fine. So here's the axle going in. So to center that axle, it's got you can see every other hole is like this. That's not a big hole. These cones go in there. That's what centers this axle in the hub. I talked to the parts guy that's been doing this forever. He said he's never seen one like this, so I don't know. Sometimes, for some reason, this weird stuff always finds me. So yeah. So anyway, put the nuts on there, tighten it up, and copy and paste on the other side. Same thing. I probably won't film that. I'll just get it done. So that should go pretty quick. Then I got to adjust the brakes. I did check. I can get that axle out. It's not too close to the garage. So adjust the brakes, and we should be good to go for a while. Hopefully. I did get new lug nuts for the ones that are missing, at least on this front axle. And good to go. He's walking the dog. He's around here somewhere. So there he goes. Alright, so brake job, half a brake job I guess you can call it, is complete. Got the wheels back on this side. And the wheels back on this side. I'm airing it up. I gotta release the brakes so I can uncage the brakes. I gotta get under there and get under there and adjust the other brake on the passenger side. Overall, I guess it wasn't too bad of a job. The worst part's picking that drum and hub up and putting it on the axle. But I got her done, so that was a good deal. I showed you guys the part number for that seal. Just in case somebody was wondering. This truck is loud now. That's the part number for the drums that I got. That's the Fleet Pride brand or whatever. It's their house brand. They also had a OTR 1610, but he said that was more money. And I said I didn't like that, so I bought these. I don't know how much the OTRs were. I think if I kind of want to say they were $75 or $100 more than the ones that I got. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's the part number for the drums if somebody needs it. The part number for the seal is earlier on in the video. Just in case somebody out there needs to know that stuff if they're working on one of these. It makes way better sense to switch it to hub pilot, but just not for me, not right now anyway. I did replace the studs that were missing and the broken wheel studs and nuts on both sides on that axle. There's still a couple missing on the back, so I gotta put shoes on the back, so when I do that I'll replace them. I'm not super worried about it. If 8 nuts won't hold it, 10 never would have, so whatever. Plus I'm not hauling 80,000 pounds with it, so it'll be fine. So yeah, it's good to have that done. So we'll be ready to go camping the end of October. So the fifth wheel works. I still have to wire up my brake controller for the trailer, but that's not a big deal. And we'll be ready to go. The other drum on the other side wasn't in as bad a shape as this one. But two new brake drums and wheel seals, and the shoes look like brand new anyway, so it'll be good to go. So thanks for watching. If you feel so inclined, like and subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. I'd appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.